So I called him Sandy. His name was Jason, and I was so embarrassed. I was just beginning to kick off a client engagement, and there were a big group of leaders, lots of names to learn. And names matter deeply to me. I get feedback often. How do you remember everyone's name? It's because I work hard to remember them. Learning someone's name is such an easy way to say to someone, you matter. I see you. You're not just a face in the room to me. Given the work that we do, that was really important to me. It always is important to me. So when I called Jason Sandy, I felt it immediately. So here's what happened. Jason was standing in front of Sandy's padfolio that had her name on it. And I thought I'd heard someone call him Sandy. So I called him Sandy confidently in front of others. And then we had a good little laugh. But a few minutes later, I was in the restroom gathering myself and just getting ready for the session. And the little voice inside of me started, the inner critic that we all know well. You are so stupid. How could you do that? You, of all people, you who care so much about names, you got someone's name wrong. And I caught it mid-critique right there in the bathroom mirror. I stopped, and instead of finishing that thought, I said something different. I told myself, you are such a connector. You care so much about this work, and you want to know everyone's name because you care so much. And you care about every person in the room. And that's a lot of pressure. You made a human mistake. Of course you would. And something inside me shifted. And it wasn't denial. I still felt the sting of what I had done, but I wasn't going to pile shame on top of an honest mistake. That is not useful. That is not kind. And honestly, it's just not true. And so here's the leadership lesson in this story. Every single one of us has an inner critic. And that critic is loudest right after we've done something that bumps up against something we care about. The more you care, the harder you work, the louder the critic gets when things don't go perfectly. And most of us have been letting that critic finish its sentences for years. So here's what I hope you recognize. You can interrupt it. You are allowed to catch yourself mid-thought, mid-critique, and tell a different story, not a false one, not toxic positivity that pretends the mistake didn't happen, but a true one that holds both things at once. I made a mistake, and I am a person who cares deeply in doing my best in a big room full of people whose names I genuinely wanted to know. And that reframe, that catching yourself mid-critique, that's a leadership skill. Because the way you talk to yourself becomes the standard for how you hold everyone else. Leaders who are brutal with themselves tend to be brutal with others. Leaders who extend genuine grace to themselves, who can say, I'm human, that was a lot, I'm going to do better. Those are the leaders who create cultures where people aren't afraid to make mistakes. It starts by catching it with the sentence you choose to finish. So here's your reflection for today. What does your inner critic say to you after a mistake? Do you even know? Are you paying attention? Do you notice? Do you let it finish? What would it sound like to catch it mid-critique and replace it with something that's both honest and kind? I am not stupid. You are not stupid. We are human, and there is a big difference. What a great way to take care of yourself and ultimately each other.